Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Gies Online Masters in Accounting webinar. Thank you for being here today. We're going to take just a few moments to allow everyone to get connected and get settled here. So just bear with us. My name is Lori Hayes. I'm a coordinator in admissions and recruitment here at Gies Online, and I am joined by my colleague, Grant Sipser, who will be assisting in the Q&A feature. For any of those questions that you all have, please feel free to pop those in the Q&A feature. It's a little bit easier for us to keep questions organized there. And then we also have a special guest joining us today. Rishi Shah is a current student ambassador for Gies Online programs. Rishi, can you just take a minute to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background and what program you're in?
Sure. Yeah, sure thing. Can you all see and hear me?
Yep, you're good.
So, hello everyone. I'm Rishi, and I joined the program in January 2024, so that would be the spring semester of 2024. Prior to that, I was actually jumping around different types of jobs. I've spent some time in tech consulting, then procurement consulting, and then my most recent job was being a financial analyst in valuations. And then really it was my most recent job that sparked my interest in pursuing higher education, specifically involving financial statements, both from the finance and accounting perspective. And so I decided to pursue an MSA. Heard UVI has a great program, applied, was accepted. I'm now entering my third semester this upcoming fall, and looking forward to all the great things that not only the semester has to offer, but as well as my internships that I've signed for next year. So if you have any questions regarding the curriculum, the internship process, really anything, just feel free, just holler them out, as I'm one of the more younger students and can probably address to that.
Perfect. Thank you, Rishi. We're so glad you're here. All right, so we do love to see where everyone is joining us from. There's a poll here on this screen. Feel free to either pop in the chat or the poll and let us know where you are joining us from. I lived in Champaign, Urbana for many, many years, but am now located over in the Pacific Northwest in Bend, Oregon. Grant is in the Champaign, Urbana, Chicago area. And Rishi, where are you joining us from?
Schaumburg, actually. So I'm actually in Illinois, but the main campus is too far for me.
Okay. Yes. Yep. That's a little ways, but it doesn't take too long to get to campus for sure. So, yeah, lots of Illinois, Chicago folks, but we really have people from all over the world in our program, which is pretty exciting. We're glad that everyone is here. Looks like we did have one. We have someone from Canada, so that's exciting too. All right, well, a little bit of what's going to go on today while we are together. I'm going to touch a little bit on the University of Illinois, Gies College of Business. We're going to have a bit of a more in-depth look at Gies Business Online, specifically the iMSA program, which is why you all are here. And we'll dive into the curriculum and the content in the iMSA program. We're going to chat about some application tips and tricks. And towards the end of the hour, we will be sure to hopefully get through all the questions that you all have. And again, feel free to pop those in the Q&A feature. So why choose the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign? Well, UIUC is a land grant institution, which means we offer high quality education at an affordable price that is accessible to all learners. As you can see, we have several accolades listed on this slide. We have a really strong reputation, not only in academia, but also in industry. And we take a lot of pride in the quality of our programs. We are a big research institution. You can see that a lot of dollars are spent in research and development. We are rated the #1 most disability-friendly campus in the United States. And if you join us, you will have over 500,000 alumni behind you as well. Let's take it a step further and talk specifically about the Gies College of Business. We are one of the top 10 public undergraduate business schools in the nation. have the #3 accountancy faculty. In 2022, our MBA program was named Program of the Year out of all the online as well as residential programs by Poets and Quants. And we have over 79,000 Gies Business alumni that you will, and today you're going to learn a little bit about how you have access to and interact with our alumni and what it means to be a part of our program while you are a student and also after you graduate. Another poll here, feel free to scan the code, but what has been holding you back from pursuing graduate education? Is it the cost? Is it the online format? Many of us went to undergrad when online schooling wasn't a thing, so that might be something holding you back. The time commitment, we understand that everyone has lots of family commitments and professional commitments. Maybe that's holding you back. ROI, you want to know that this degree is going to have an impact on your career. And maybe, you know, just the difficulty of the content. You're not quite sure if it's the right fit for you. So it looks like we have ROI. That is a big one. And hopefully Rishi will be able to touch a little bit on that. We'll have some stats for you too later on in the presentation as well on ROI and time commitment and cost. We'll cover all of these. So first, let's talk about the 3 main qualities of Gies online programs. First and foremost would be flexibility. Our programs are 100% fully online. This means you can access the group projects, the live sessions, all from the comfort of your own home, your office, or even if you're away on vacation or on a business trip. You can take 1 course at a time or 2, depending on your schedule. And your schedule will be totally paced by you depending on your work and life schedule. Stackability, and I will go over this in a little more depth on the next slide, but all of our credentials stack and work together. So we have the Coursera MOOCs, which MOOC stands for Massive Open Online Course. These are single online courses offered on the Coursera platform. Gies Online offers non-degree or 4-credit single courses, which combines both the Coursera MOOC portion with the Gies Online high engagement component. We also offer graduate certificates, which are 12 credit hour sequences or 3 courses where you can master a specific topic. All of our graduate certificate options are stackable into any of our degree programs, and the MSM and MSA degree programs will also stack into the IMBA as well. And finally, online by design. This means that our programs were designed to be delivered to thousands of learners worldwide so that our learners could access highly engaging content from anywhere, anytime, without having to pause your career or family commitments. Rishi, did any of these qualities or factors stand out to you when you were choosing a program that would work best for you and your goals?
Sure. So the biggest factor for me when choosing a graduate program was ROI, as displayed on the previous slide. And grad school, let's be honest, it's not cheap. We want to try and save as much money as we can. And being a Purdue grad, I learned the importance of value education, getting what you can for your buck. And so one of the things I like about the iMSA program, as well as all the online programs here, is that you pay, it's a credit by credit system. So you're paying just for your classes, nothing else, just for those credits, which is very unique. I was looking at other programs at the time, and they either other universities with MSA programs, and they either did not have an online program, or they had an MSA program, but it was like a hybrid model, and you have to go in person, and so that's not flexible, especially for folks who work full time and they have jobs, and the only way they can get work done is in the morning, before work, during work, on their breaks, or after work. And if they have families and kids to look after, in addition to that, that only makes it harder. So I would say ROI, flexibility, the stackable schedule, being able to pick what classes you want to take and when, that was also great. And just the online by design, like the integration between the Coursera and the Canvas platform impressed me. I remember taking part in online programs in my undergrad, and it was new at the time, but I was super impressed by Gies's cohesiveness of the integration of the platforms. And we have a full iSupport team. If there's any technical issues, you can reach out to them if the professors are not available. So Gies and specifically its MSA as well as online programs, they know what they're doing in terms of online education.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Our MBA launched back in 2016. Shortly after that came our management and accounting online programs. And so this isn't something that we pivoted for the pandemic. This is something that was designed to be delivered online for folks like Rishi and yourselves needing to access education, but continue in your career. So a really, really great opportunity that we have here for you. All right, here's that stackable slide that I said I would touch on a little bit more. This slide basically represents all the building blocks of the credentials that we offer here at Gies Online. So the free Coursera MOOCs that are on the Coursera platform. And then there's the non-degree single 4-credit courses. And within that, we are combining the Coursera MOOC with the high engagement 4-credit component offered through Gies Online. And then we also have the graduate certificates that we touched on and 3 full master's degree programs. All of these can complement an existing credential. All these options allow for development of new and targeted knowledge. They also allow you to work at your own pace. And lastly, stackability is outcome driven. So our hope is that you will see a career impact with each stackable step. We have something for everyone here at Gies Online, whether you're just wanting to take a single course, you want to earn a graduate certificate, or maybe you're ready for a master's degree. We have options that build on one another and work together. Before we jump into the information for the iMSA, I do want to touch a little bit on our graduate certificate options. Each one of our graduate certificates consists of 12 hours or 3 courses of transcripted credit. The application process for our graduate certificate applications is very brief, and all of our graduate certificates are stackable into any of our degree programs, including the iMSA, even if they aren't a part of that core curriculum or the elective. We will work with you to make sure that they transfer and stack into your degree program. So as of right now, we have 13 total graduate certificates, all listed here. This is a great option for someone that is just wanting to get their feet wet a little bit without jumping into a degree program quite yet. A few facts about the iMSA program. This program builds expertise and fundamentals of accounting, like financial reporting, audit and control, U.S. federal taxation. The tuition for this program does range from about $20,000 to $28,000. There is a range because that does depend on some of your course choices. Students can complete the iMSA in as little as 18 to 36 months, but you can stretch it out to 5 years if you need to. The iMSA has a total of 32 credit hours or 8 courses, and we have 3 start dates. So we just passed our August start date. Our next intake for iMSA students would be January, and then we also take students in May as well. And then if you are someone that is considering potentially pursuing the MBA program after the MSA program, 24 credits of the iMSA program will also fully stack or transfer into the iMBA. So that would be an option for you as well. So whether you're a mid-level professional looking to move into a C-suite position, maybe you're pivoting and you're completely new to the accounting field, the iMSA is a fit for all ranges, all backgrounds, and it is developed and so that you'll be well positioned to advance in your career and increase your earnings potential. A few numbers for you. So the average age of our students is 36. You will find folks straight out of undergrad. You will have some folks that are older than 36. So the majority of our students will be professionals with about 10 years of experience, though. But again, there will be a range. 47 states and territories are represented, as well as 36 countries in the iMSA program. 95 Fortune 500 companies are also represented within our program. So we have career changers. We have folks that might be new to the accounting field and others that have been in finance and accounting for years. You'll be connecting with people from a variety of industries and backgrounds. And then a few more stats for you, a little bit on the ROI. What is the value of our program? 96% satisfactory rate, and then 76% of our students received a promotion or job offer during the iMSA program, and 22% received a pay increase during the program. So the return of investment is pretty relevant here. You can see that the iMSA program can have an immediate impact on your career. Curriculum. The curriculum consists of 32 credit hours that students are required to complete. 20 of those will be core courses that are required by every iMSA student. Then you will have 12 credit hours of electives. These electives will allow you to kind of customize your degree and get it and gear it towards your own professional goals. Rishi, can you talk a little bit about the courses you have taken so far, and if you've seen any sort of impact in your career? I know you're fairly earlier into the program, but have you been able to apply some of the content that you've learned in your current career? I think you're muted still. There you
Sorry
go.
about that.
You're good.
As I was saying, so far I have taken Accounting Analysis 1 and Managerial Accounting. That was during the spring 2024 semester. Then this past summer, I took 3 classes. They're all elective courses. They're not listed on here. But if you want to know what those are, I can talk about those later. And then this upcoming fall, I will be taking Accounting Analysis 2, Federal Taxation, in addition to another elective class, which doesn't appear to be listed on here. And then auditing the following spring semester. Overall, classes have been great. The professors have been super great. They know what they're talking about. The office hours, whenever I get a chance to visit, are also helpful. If there's something I missed during the lecture, or I have a question that is outside the scope of the class content or the class lecture that specific week. And in addition, I unfortunately have not had the chance to take my knowledge and apply it in a role, but I will get that opportunity down the road. As I stated earlier, I will be interning from January to April of next year at a public accounting firm in a tax internship, as well as the summer of next year also in a tax internship at a different public accounting firm. So the application part hasn't kicked in yet, but it will.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Great. Thank you. All right, a little note about the I. This only refers to our method of delivery only. It's to signify all of the master's degrees delivered online at Gies. There will be no mention of the I on your transcripts or your diploma, so no worries there. And then let's talk a little bit about about the Gies Learner Journey and what 2 components make up our courses. So we've touched on the Coursera MOOC. These are the non-credit bearing courses that you complete asynchronously on your own time that cover foundational material. It basically serves as your digital textbook for each course. These offer specific career aligned training. You'll earn a digital certificate you can share on social platforms. You enroll through the Coursera platform, and the content is made up of videos, self-assessed quizzes, assignments, and peer evaluations. This component is much more self-paced and self-driven. Then the second component to courses is the high engagement component. And this component basically builds on the MOOC foundational material. It will give you the real world scenarios and projects to pull through the concepts that you've learned in the MOOCs. You will have a 90-minute live class on Zoom each week where your instructor will give their lecture. You will also have a small group breakout sessions in these live classes. They are offered multiple different times to accommodate all of our different global time zones for our learners. And your faculty is available also for office hours where you can discuss current assignments, have discussions with your professor and TA, and also network and talk with other students that are in the same course. So together, the Coursera and high engagement components make up your 4-credit Gies Online course. Rishi, can you maybe shed some light on these 2 components, how they work together, and how you balance them, and how you've been balancing them throughout the program, and maybe an estimate, I know this depends on the course, of what the time commitment might be each week?
Sure, sure. So, really, Coursera and Canvas are the 2 main platforms that most classes will be using. If there is another platform involved, like YellowDig, which is a discussion board, that really depends on the class and the nature of the class. It's more based off of what I've seen, it's more used in courses that are discussion heavy or discussion focused, and less in classes that are more theoretical or problem focused. But Coursera and Canvas are the main ones. So Coursera, you have access to your week's lecture slides, as well as video lectures that are pre-recorded by your professor. And in addition to that, the live lectures, which are different from the pre-recorded lectures on Coursera, those can be found on the Canvas platform. So those live lectures are the lectures that happen each week whenever the semester starts. If you're unable to attend the live lecture, it's always pre-recorded, but it's on the Canvas platform, not on the Coursera platform. So the way I think about it is that the Canvas platform has all the live lecture material, and the Coursera platform has the material that builds off of the live lectures. And outside of that, office hours, you can always go to office hours and get your questions answered over there. A lot of the group and a lot of the group projects, they're also on Canvas. And actually, I'll stop talking right there. The group projects are only on Canvas. They're not on Coursera, so I don't want to give false information over there. But let me pause. Was there another part of the question? I don't think I got that.
Yeah, it was a little bit about the time commitment, maybe per course each week. I'm sure that can vary depending on the course that you're taking, but maybe an estimate.
Sure. So, in my experience, in the fall as well as the spring, most of the core courses are 16 weeks long, and those classes tend to be 4 credits each, and they also tend to be demanding. So if you're working, if you, let's say you work a full-time job and you take 2 4-credit courses that are 16 weeks long, the time commitment on average, I would say, would be a good 10 to 15 hours per week. And keep in mind that these are core courses, and they will make you work more, versus summer classes. If you're taking electives in the summer, the workload tends to be a little bit laid back. So it might be like an hour a week or an hour or so a week per class in the summer. But in my experience, the summer classes tend to be a little bit laid back, but the core classes will definitely make you work, and it will require time management, and even more time management if you work full time, have bills to pay, or have a family to look after. That.
Sure, thank you. The average time commitment that we have heard from most students is the 10 to 15 hours. And another little tidbit that I've heard a few students say is that it's helpful if you work ahead, like at least a week in Coursera. Would you say that's true for you?
I would say yes. And the reason I would say that is because, for me at least, I can't speak for others. It's because the more I put in, the more I will get out. And so
Mhm.
I would like to say that I've done fairly phenomenal in all the classes I've taken so far, but it hasn't just been simply because I attended the lectures and did the Coursera on time. I've had to email questions to my professors.
Mhm.
I've had to go to office hours. So all of that combined together will translate eventually into the grade you want, and the grade that eventually goes on the transcript at the end of each semester. So the Coursera and and Canvas, it's not enough. I would recommend for anyone who really wants to make the most out of the courses to go to office hours, email questions, work with teammates, even outside of the assigned group projects if they have
Mhm.
availability.
Okay, great advice. Thank you. All right, moving on to faculty. You might be wondering how we are delivering all of this highly innovative content to our learners. Well, a lot of this does have to do with our amazing faculty. We have over 75 faculty members with years of experience, over 200 TAs, and we have a team here at Gies of 55 staff members that are in our teaching and learning department. So all of these groups come together to create the content that we deliver. And I'm going to give you a little sneak peek into what a live session looks like. Bear with me, I gotta share a different screen here. But hopefully this will give you a little bit of an idea of what to expect in a live session. All right, here we go.
Hello and welcome from wherever in the world you are. One thing you'll know by now, you'd realize you are not going to be able to just sit back. Got excited.
Absolutely.
I do not believe in exams. It will be a collaborative event, something you do over time with others. And that's what we do in this class. I want you to put up your hands and tell me 2 associations from the case.
Tradition comes to mind.
Associated with a working man.
Also inexpensive and very accessible.
And my classes by saying, all of you, go out in the world and be successful.
Great. Well, hopefully that gave you a little bit of an idea of what to expect in a live session. Rishi, can you tell us a little bit about what your experience has been like in the live sessions, and maybe even touch a little bit on the projects or tests or assignments?
Yeah, sure. So the live sessions have been great, in my opinion. The professors come with a deck that is already prepared ahead of class, and some professors, what they'll do is they'll upload the deck to Canvas so that you have the chance to download it and go through it once or twice, make a couple notes, and have questions going into the live session rather than opening the deck and just going into the live session blind. I like to be prepared as much as possible, but at the end of the day, I also need to understand that the professors can only upload the decks when they have time, if they have time. Sometimes it just might be at the start of each session they upload it, and then I click on it and then have to go in blind, make up questions as I go. Apart from that, the some professors will also implement homework parts into the live sessions as well. So an example I can give is during spring 2024, I took Financial Accounting 1 and Connect, which was a platform where we did our homework on. Those problems were also discussed in as part of the live sessions. And again, that depends on a class by class basis. There are cases where Connect will be used. There are cases where Yellow Dig will be used if the class is heavily discussion focused. So that's on a class by class basis. The other thing I would like to add is a lot of the classes will be very collaborative, whether it's answering a qualitative question in a group discussion, doing a live problem together and then going through the solution. So what that professor said in that video, it is very true. You will not be able to sit back. Professors will notice if you're not taking part, and they will not call you out per se, but they will mention like you haven't spoken. Would you like to add something to the discussion? So it's definitely not something where you can just sit in and breeze right through.
Sure. Yeah, the instructors do a really good job of trying to make it interactive, I think, to everyone involved. If that's not your learning style, and you prefer to view the recordings, you can do that as well. But our hope is that, whatever your learning style is, that there's something here that we offer that you can get through, that you can apply. And there's lots of different support. We're going to get to that here in a little bit as well. And Rishi touched on some of the advising and planning team support called iSupport. So we'll get to that here in just a minute. But before we move into the support you'll receive, I do want to touch a little bit on networking. This is a question we do hear quite often is how do students network within an online program? We do hold several different types of events for our students to network. Before I kind of go through these, Rishi, have you experienced any sort of networking opportunities? I don't know, maybe being in Schaumburg, have you been to any of the in-person meetups there?
I have not. I'm ashamed to say that, but
Yeah.
I haven't. I have heard recently. I've heard a lot of buzz about iConverge, as that's one of the popular ones. I also know that there are immersions happening. There's one happening right now, a virtual immersion in Japan or for Japan, something like that. So definitely heard buzz about those two. The way I've done my networking, since I live in Schaumburg, I'm away from campus, can't necessarily commute to a networking event unless it's somewhere near the vicinity, or I decide one day to especially make a trip out to campus. I've done my networking through LinkedIn, really, and just trying to find alums that have graduated from Gies, and if they've graduated from the iMSA or the MSA program, even better, and connect with them to see how they're doing right now in their careers and how the MSA program helped them to get to where it is that they are now.
Great. Yeah, your LinkedIn profile will definitely kind of blow up. You'll gain lots of new connections there. But yeah, the iConnect, these are basically meetings that we organize here at Gies Online, but they may be in several different metropolitan cities over the course of the year, even internationally. We might have an instructor or staff member traveling somewhere, so then we will create an event. We'll have a speaker. We'll invite any prospective learners, current learners, alumni. So we do hold these quite often throughout the year. If there's one near you, you're definitely welcome to attend. Immersions are our immersion opportunities where about 30 to 40 students can travel, where we have domestic immersion trips and global immersion trips. We just wrapped up one from South Africa, and then we had another one early summer in Singapore, Malaysia. And as Rishi said, we have a virtual one going on in Japan. These are opportunities for students to come together, solving a real world business problem with students with a real company. Really exciting. It is an additional cost thing. You do have to apply and be accepted to participate. iConverge is our annual in-person event coming up in September, and I've got a slide coming up on that. And then some of the student-led opportunities, group work, workplace, student-led meetups, hey, I'm traveling through New York City. Is anyone available to get together for dinner? These types of meetups are happening all the time. And then we have our ambassador program, which Rishi is a part of, and the IGBA is our student organization, which is basically the liaison between the university administration and our student body. So all of these are opportunities that you would have to network. And again, just the LinkedIn is a great tool to network on as well. And then we also do have Workplace, which is a platform. It's owned by Facebook, operates like Facebook, and where you would be connecting with lots of other learners and alumni there as well. a few slides off of what we just discussed here. We've got the Seattle immersion. We had this a little while ago. This is a few pictures. Those on the immersion went to the Seahawks Stadium. They did a boat excursion, and they had a lot of fun with different networking and cultural events. And then iConverge, this is last year. We had over 505 students and or alumni and current students that attended, 38 countries or 38 states represented and 32 countries represented, which is pretty exciting. All current students and alumni are also invited to attend this event. It's every September. We have keynote speakers, professional development, networking series, and then we also have like a football game and a tailgate. So definitely something to look forward to if that's of interest. And then Workplace, this is the social media platform that I was talking about. And these are just a few examples of some of the Workplace posts, like attending a live session while on vacation. There's also, a post here where someone launched their startup and received an award. And then the Singapore group has an iEverything event every year, and that was featured also on Workplace. Student meetups, these are just a few examples of some student meetups in the past year. As you can see, these are happening all over the world, not just in the United States, but internationally as well. And then moving on to the support that Rishi kind of touched on earlier. We do have an entire student and academic success team available to you. They can go over the degree requirements with you. They can help you set up a degree plan. They have express advising hours available multiple times a week where you can hop on and off and get any questions answered. You can also register for one-on-one Zoom meetings with an advisor or email them anytime. Rishi, have you connected with academic advising services, and what did that support look like for you?
Yeah, sure. So I've connected with services pretty much the start of every semester, and I recommend everyone, prospective students and current students, to do that. Before the first day of classes, if you can meet up with your academic advisor to plan together what classes you want to take before the semester starts, during the semester, as well as how many credits do you have left, when do you want to graduate. That would be best way to do that would be during the semester instead of when or excuse me, before the semester, instead of when during the semester starts. My experience has been great, really. If I've had a technical issue, I've sent an email to the iSupport team, and they respond somewhere between a 24-hour to 48-hour time frame. So the response time is great. When I have to meet up with my advisor, there's a way to register for an appointment. The availability is always up to date, so that's been great. Open office hours, I actually haven't done that, so can't speak on that. Express planning, also have not done that either, so can't speak on that. And one-on-one appointments, I would say, whether it's with the success team, support team, or even just your professors, they're always useful.
Great, thanks for that. All right, so another poll here. What part of the application looks the most time consuming or difficult to you? Is it the resume, personal statement, maybe it's the recommendation forms, or getting those transcripts in? Let me get my mouse over here, there we go. Listing your work experience. If you're international, maybe you're wondering about the English proficiency test requirement, the prerequisites and coursework form for the iMSA. So let us know what you feel is the most difficult or time consuming. We're going to go over each of these here in just a moment, and we'll touch on them. So for the resume, it's just an updated resume, maybe 2-page tops for that. and that will be required for your application. Unofficial transcripts or mark sheets, the unofficials are fine for the application process. We won't need those officials until about a month into your degree. So into courses. So you have some time there. Unofficials are just fine for the application process. And then an academic statement, short answer, personal statements, all of these prompts are found within the application. I feel like this is really where our applicants can shine. This is really where, tell us about you. Don't necessarily, the things that you leave off the resume that you wish were there, this is the spot where you can add those, and this is a great opportunity for us to get to know you better. 2 recommendation forms. We will email your recommenders a form to be completed. It can be done in as little as 15 minutes, and they can also upload a letter, but that is optional. No GRE, GMAT required. Scholarship essay is available, and we are taking scholarship applications for our January start. So if that is of interest to you, that application has to be submitted with your degree application at the same time. And there is an essay and a prompt that can be found within the application as well for a scholarship. And then finally, if you are concerned that your profile might not be strong enough to gain admission into the iMSA program, we do offer the PAT program. That stands for Performance-Based Admission Track. This is a great option. If you're someone that, let's say, doesn't quite meet the 3.0 GPA or has a really large gap in their professional experience or anything else that may keep you from meeting our requirements, this is an opportunity for learners to apply to PAT as a non-degree student. You would take 3 of the required iMSA courses, and you would earn credits. And the requirement is that you would complete those 3 courses with a 3.0. And if that requirement is met, you automatically migrate into the degree program. And those courses transfer, they don't need to be repeated. So for the application review, after you submit your application, we'll contact you if anything is missing. We accept applications on a rolling basis. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks before you will hear from us with either a decision or an invitation to complete a video interview. Again, the interviews are also another opportunity for us to get to know you better. And Rishi, can you tell us a little bit about what your video interview experience was like?
Sure. So I applied during fall 2023 to start in the spring 2024 term. And I do remember submitting all the required components that were shown on the previous slide. As far as submitting an interview, I actually can't recall that.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it was I'm not sure if it was a pre-recorded interview that
right.
I was questioned to answer that.
Mm-hmm.
Or if it was a live interview with an admissions counselor.
Okay.
That I cannot remember. If I didn't do that and this is a new part of the application process, it will be holistic. It will be holistic in nature. It will be a chance for prospective candidates to add an additional part to their application, and basically like the human side to the application for a more holistic overview. Sorry, I can't speak much on that.
No, that's okay. That might be my fault because we've added that video, the pre-recorded video essay or interview not too long ago. So maybe you actually interviewed with an admissions counselor or someone like that, but yeah, no problem at all. But now we are doing the video interviews, which is basically just very general questions about your career goals, experience working with a team, why you chose to apply to Gies, and maybe any like challenges or contributions that you will make if admitted. So those are kind of the general guidelines for the iMSA video interview. And then moving on, we're getting close to the top of the hour here. Hopefully you learned a little bit about the University of Illinois, all of the credentials that we offer, but more specifically the iMSA program. I do feel like the three things I hear our students talk most about in terms of why they chose Gies Online is the flexibility, affordability, and the networking opportunities, and also that online by design. You're able to complete your master's degree without leaving your job or any other responsibilities. Our price point is pretty unmatched, especially for the high quality education that you'll be receiving. And despite the program being online, you'll have numerous opportunities to meet and connect with your peers in person. So we would love for each of you to join us here at Gies. And we have an entire team of admissions counselors. Grant, if you have a minute, maybe pop in the chat the link to schedule a one-on-one meeting with an admissions counselor. This is a great opportunity for you to chat one-on-one with someone from our team, decide what the best fit is for your professional goals. All right, so how did we do today? We have one more poll. Let us know how you feel about your understanding of the iMSA program and Gies Online. Did we get most of your answers, your questions answered? While we are here, I'm going to look in the chat and the Q&A. Looks like Grant did a great job in the Q&A feature and getting all of those questions answered. And then here's that. Let's see here. Are there any other questions in the chat? Grant, did I miss anything?
I can see. Don't think so.
Okay. All right. Looks like we have one here. If you complete a graduate certificate and then decide to pursue the iMSA, is it the same as the iMSA application? Great question. So the graduate certificate application does not require any recommenders. So basically, you would have most of the application already complete. You will want to tweak some of your personal statement answers. I think the degree ones are a little bit, they need a little bit more in terms of depth and word count. So you'll want to tweak those a little bit and then add your 2 recommenders in there. And all of the materials that have been uploaded for your graduate certificate application will be able to be moved over to your iMSA degree application. If you have any issues with that, reach out to our team. We can move those over for you. You would also want to add to your resume that you have this new graduate certificate and add that. And you also want to upload the unofficial transcript for that as well. So great question. Another question, will the video interview reviewed by, yes, it will be reviewed by our team. So your application will go through an initial review through different members on our admissions team, and then we will also review the interview as well. Will we receive feedback to work on or give options for PAT or graduate certificate if the application is not accepted? Another great question. So when you submit your application for the iMSA, we are actually reviewing that with all of those things in mind, but mainly more PAT versus degree. We wouldn't necessarily come back and suggest that you consider a graduate certificate, but if we feel like you are a better fit for PAT, we will email you, ask how you feel about that, answer any questions that you have. You would submit a form giving us the okay, and then we would continue to process your application as if it were for the PAT program instead of the degree program. If you have taken courses similar to the prerequisite courses on another platform, can those completions be submitted with your application? Absolutely. So submit those, upload those on the form, and if they suffice the requirement, we will go ahead and note that you've fulfilled that requirement. If we feel that you need to complete the Coursera portion, we will let you know. Those can be completed fairly quickly. So that shouldn't be an issue or be holding up your admission into the program. Is there an in-person graduation ceremony for the iMSA? Yes, there is. We have convocation every December and every May. We love for our students to come to campus. We have all the celebrations, bring family and friends. So please, we would love for you to attend convocation. All right, one more here. Let's see. Please clear the recommendation letter person. Should be from Gies or any other profession. So I think I'm understanding this question correctly, but correct me if I'm wrong. The recommendation, the letter of recommendations would be from 2 recommenders. It can be, we do prefer professional in nature. So a past or present supervisor, past or present colleague. If those are not applicable, it can be academic in nature. It can also be a mentor or a client. Can we apply before passing the required courses? So I think you're talking about the prerequisite courses. Those, you could technically submit your application without them being completed, but we will not be able to process a decision on your admission until we receive the form and that it's completed. All right, so on this final slide here, we do have our QR code. This is a great way for you to get connected with us, get connected with our recruitment team. And I'm going to stop sharing here, but Rishi, is there anything you feel like I missed or any last minute thoughts that you would like to share?
Yeah, sure. I'll share a couple last minute thoughts. So for anyone who intends to take a study for the CPA, and then eventually pass those sections down the road, and need credits, like to meet the 150 credit mark, here in Illinois at least, the MSA program is great for that. It's also great in terms of prepping for the CPA. A lot of the courses, especially the core courses, they're CPA centric. I would also say if you're looking for a particular industry to break into, I can't speak on all industries, but based on my experience, if you are looking to transition into public accounting, the iMSA program, as well as U of I and as well as Gies and the resources Gies can offer, is definitely great if you want to get an internship job in public accounting or switch from whichever industry you're currently working in into public accounting. Definitely great for that. And apart from that, I would say just enjoy. We look forward to having you guys apply, sign up, hopefully, and become a part of the Gies family, as well as the iMSA family. And it's a journey. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So just enjoy the journey.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you so much, Rishi. And then there is one last question here. I'm not sure. Oh, looks like Grant might be typing it, but any specific classes that off the top of your head that are good for CPA preparation?
I would say all of the core classes. So that would be Financial Accounting 1, Financial Accounting 2, Tax, Audit, and there was one more. There was a 5th class that I forgot. But all of the core classes, those are the ones you really want to master because they're the fundamentals. And accounting, in both from a classroom perspective as well as an industry perspective, it's one of those, it builds off of each other. So if you can't master and really hunker down on the fundamentals, you may struggle later on because the material builds off each other. So I would say those 5 core classes you really want to hunker down on.
Great, thank you. All right, well, I want to thank all of you for attending today, taking time out of your schedule. Grant, thank you so much for helping in the chat and in the Q&A. And Rishi, a huge thank you to you for being here, sharing your experience. Couldn't do these webinars without you, so thank you so much. And with that being said, I'm going to sign off here for today, but please reach out to us at giesonline@illinois.edu with any questions. We have a team here excited and happy to help you. Everyone have a good night. Thank you.